kind of an interesting story. You're not from the Fulton area.
No.
You were born and raised outside Chicago area, Elgin, I understand. So what brought you to Fulton and your involvement in the Immigrant?
Well, my daughter bought a house out on Frog Pond Road, and we were looking for a place to retire that was close to one of our kids. And she was closer than our others who were in Oregon and St. Paul, Minnesota, and Texas. So we scoured the area and found a nice house to buy, and we love the area because it's so laid back and a lot cheaper than Chicago.
I would imagine so, no doubt about that. So you say you've been here about 4 years now. How did you get involved with the windmill?
Well, I made a friend with actually a gentleman who had lived in the house that we bought. And so he kept stopping by and made friends, and he kept bugging me about getting involved with the windmill because I am handy and sort of mechanically inclined, until finally I said yes, and that was about 6 years ago. Okay. And after a couple of years, he got me more involved, and I became chief miller.
Okay, so now it's the 25th anniversary celebration this Saturday, Bob. What's all going to be going on?
Well, we're going to have ribbon cutting at noon. And around that, we're going to have some games for the kids and games for adults. And we'll have puffertjes, which are a little Dutch pastry that we'll actually make right there. And we're going to have a bread making
like a demonstration?
Demonstration, yeah. People can buy a sack of flour and make a loaf of bread, just a small one. And we'll also have a bake-off. We'll have some local ladies making pastries and stuff from our flour. And there'll be a contest, and whoever gets to win, I'm not sure what they get. I think more flour.
There you go. So it is an actual working windmill, correct?
Yes, it is. We do grind when we have enough wind, and we grind and produce wheat, rye, and corn.
So this spring has been extremely windy.
Yeah.
Can it be too windy sometimes, Bob?
At times it can be too windy, but most of the time the lead miller, the guy who actually does the grinding, he says if there's whitecaps on the river, it's a good day to grind.
And there have been some whitecaps this spring, no doubt. So again, it's the 25th anniversary. You know a little bit about the history of this. So the windmill itself was actually built overseas, taken apart, brought to Fulton, and reassembled. Talk about that process.
Okay, well, it all started actually with the 65 flood. Because of the flood, the Army Corps came in and built the two dikes, on both sides of the river. And being a Dutch community, they said, we've got a dike and we're Dutch, we need a windmill. So the mayor at the time, Ken Van Huysen, he got everybody activated and organized, and they did the fundraising, and they went over to the Netherlands. They were originally wanted to get an existing windmill, but the Netherlands said, no, we're not letting any more out of our country. The last one to come out of the country of an existing one is in Holland, Michigan. So after that, they got in touch with a company called Mollema, and they agreed to, for about $1 million, build a windmill in their factory and then take it all apart, put it in shipping containers where it went across the sea on boat, and then by train to the local area, and then by truck over on First Avenue in Fulton. And that's where they put it all back together. And a fun fact is that it is built in the model of a windmill that's existing in Groningen, Netherlands. And it has sails and everything that almost touch the ground. But ours are about 3 foot off the ground, and we have to have a ladder to get up to climb up the sails. And the reason for that is because the shipping containers weren't long enough. So we got shorted 3 feet because of shipping containers.
Again, visiting with Bob Newton. He is the chief miller of the Immigrant, the windmill, celebrating 25 years this Saturday in downtown Fulton, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. A lot of activities going on. Of course, people are going to be there this Saturday, but you get people there pretty much year-round, don't you, Bob?
Yes, we do. Well, we're open from May through October.
Okay.
We're not open in the winter because it's not heated, so it's too cold. And one thing I wanted to tell you is that because our mill was modeled after an existing mill in the Netherlands, that mill was built in 1855. And all our timbers and stuff are all mortise and tenon. There's not a single metal fastener in the actual structure. But I tell people now, I said, yeah, we're 25 years old, but we don't look a day over 170.
You do tours. People can go to the windmill outside of this Saturday. What are your hours at the windmill, Bob?
We're open Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 2, Saturdays 10 to 5, and Sundays 1 to 5.
And what a great attraction it is for Fulton. You were telling me you get visitors far and near.
Yes, we've had visitors from all 50 states and from 55 countries. One time I was working there and there was a group of visitors from Norway who were traveling the Lincoln Highway. So they would come in cars and they would, all day long, they were showing up, and I just thought that was amazing. And one day I was working and a group of about 10 tractors came down 10th Avenue and parked, and they came in and took a tour. They were retired farmers who do these tractor tours all the time.
So what would a basic tour consist of when people do come to the windmill?
Well, when they come in, we have a video that was created by one of our millers and the local high school. They put a video together pointing out all the aspects of the mill with a student who actually does the voiceover. And then once they go upstairs, they can see the actual structure. And on a good day, when we have enough wind, they could actually see the gears turning. And then we'll take them outside to show them all the aspects of the tailpiece and the sails and the fact that our cap actually turns and has to face the wind in order to get it to turn. And that's turning about 25 tons. Now the Dutch do it by hand with the cant wheel, but we're a little bit older and not as strong, so we use an electric winch.
I don't blame you, not at all. So, and just thank you so much for coming over. And again, it's this Saturday. It's not been there 25 years, but the Windmill Cultural Center has been a great addition to that area.
Yes, it has. It was built, when was that, 10 years
I think it's
after.
around 10 years now,
Yeah.
yes?
And it has, I counted them, 37 model windmills sized from a foot tall to 6 feet tall, all built by one man, Hank Heilema, and his wife. His wife actually did all the painting on the windmills, the models that he made. So what he would do is he would go around the world and visit a windmill, and he'd take pictures inside and out, and then he'd go home in his basement and build a model.
That is incredible. Again, thank you so much for your time. Now, do you got to work today? Are you going to be at the windmill today?
Oh yeah, we're getting ready for our 25th, so we got a lot of checklist things to do.
All right, well, we'll let you get to it. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's check the weather now, brought to you by Frary Lumber.
Watch out for some dense fog early this morning. That will clear out, giving way to some sunshine and some nicer air quality, too. Temperatures will reach up to near 80 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies and overnight lows dropping into the upper 50s. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact.